Hare Krishna. After that wonderful, blissful kirtan, now we are here discussing wonderful pastimes of Ranti Dev. So let us begin by the wonderful kirtan of Jai Radha Madhava. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakaacharya Astuta Shri Śrīmad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder-Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakaacharya Astuta Shri Śrīmad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय. श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय. नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय. गंगा माई की जय. जमुना माई की जय. भक्ति देवी की जय. तुलसी महारानी की जय. सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय. निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we are reading from the 9th canto. Chapter is number 21, the dynasty of Bharata. And today we are talking about verse 18. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tat prasanganubhavena Ranti devanuvartina Abhavan Yogina Bhakti Sarve Narayana Parayana Tat prasanganubhavena Ranti devanuvartina Abhavan yogina sarve Narayana parayana Tat prasanganubhavena Ranti devanuvartina Abhavan yogina sarve Narayana parayana Tat prasanganubhavena Ranti devanuvartina Abhavan yogina sarve Narayana parayana Tat prasanganubhavena Ranti devanuvartina Tat prasanganubhavena Ranti devanuvartina Abhavan yogina sarve Narayana parayana Tat prasanganubhavena Ranti devanuvartina Abhavan yogina sarve Narayana parayana Tat prasanganubhavena. Because of associating with King Rantidev when talking with him about Bhakti Yoga. Rantideva Anuvartina. The followers of King Rantidev, that is, his servants, his family members, his friends, and others. Abhavan became Yogina, first class mystic yogis or bhakti yogis. Sarve, all of them. Narayana Parayana, devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada. All those who followed the principles of Rantidev were totally favored by his mercy and became pure devotees attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan. Thus, they all became the best of the yogis. Purport. The best yogis or mystics are the devotees as confirmed by the Lord Himself in Bhagavad Gita 6.47. Yogi nam api sarvesham madgatenantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo matah. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. The best yogi is he who constantly thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within the core of his heart. Because Rantidev was the king, the chief executive in the state, all the residents of the state became devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan by the king's transcendental association. This is the influence of a pure devotee. If there is one pure devotee, his association can create hundreds and thousands of pure devotees. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said that a Vaishnava is meritorious in proportion to the number of devotees he has created. A Vaishnava becomes superior not simply by jugglery of words, but by the number of devotees he has created for the Lord. Here, the word Rantideva indicates that Rantidev's officers, friends, relatives, and subjects all became first-class Vaishnavas by his association. In other words, Rantidev is confirmed herein to be a first-class devotee or Mahabhagavata. Mahatsevam avaram ahur vimukhe. One should render service to such Mahatmas. For them, one will automatically achieve the goal of liberation. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has also said, Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nishtara Paeche Kabe. One cannot be liberated by his own effort, but if one becomes subordinate to a pure Vaishnava, the door to liberation is open. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All those who followed the principles of King Rantidev were totally favored by his mercy and became pure devotees attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana. Thus, they all became the best of the yogis. So, we are discussing the dynasty of Maharaj Bharata. And one of the descendants, as we have been reading for the past few days, is Rantidev. So, Rantidev is extraordinary in his character, and he was seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead everywhere and in everyone. He also embodied the Vaishnava quality of Paradukha Dukhi, which means he is saddened or is not happy when he sees the suffering of others. So we saw that, he selflessly, gave away water, even water, food and all, but even water that was needed for his survival. So he gave that away to the needful people. What to speak when demigods like Brahma and Shiva came before him, he was not attracted to them. He did offer respects to them, but all he was doing was thinking of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in yesterday's verse, we saw that how Maya could not affect Rantidev, and he was always Krishna conscious and free of all material desires. And in this verse today that we are reading is another beautiful verse which is sort of summarizing the pastimes of Rantidev. This is the last verse talking about Rantidev. And this verse is mainly talking about two things. One is the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga over other yogas. And the other thing that is being spoken here is how to become that best of the yogis, how practicing Bhakti Yoga will make us the best of the yogis. So, starting with the example of Rantidev that we have here, what was he doing? He was fasting for so many days, 48 days, right? And the goal of fasting was not to achieve some mystic power, or was not to become anything dhyana yogi or no liberation, or become liberated. There was not all these, they were not his desires. All he was desiring was the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead. All he was thinking was how and what I can do that will please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was seeing in everyone, whoever were coming, whoever were asking things, he was seeing the presence of Lord in all those living entities. And then, as the best of yogis, as we read in the purport, sure enough, he was thinking when even the demigods came, he was not mesmerized by their presence. He was not awestruck that, oh, they have come. So this is what a best of yogi does when he is completely situated in Krishna consciousness. And this is what we have seen by his example. And because he was the best of yogis, the most amazing thing happened. Because of his association, because of being in contact with him, everyone who were in contact with him, his family members, his friends, his relatives, for that matter, all his subjects, and we are not talking of a small kingdom here. Rantidev was ruler of the entire planet. So everybody, because of being in association with Rantidev, all of them became Narayana Parayana. Narayana Parayana means the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here, reading all this, we can conclude that bhakti is contagious, is it not? We all know about this word contagious. We were all very aware of this word, when the COVID time, that not being in contact. So when we come in contact with someone, we can get what they have. So that is what is contagious. Similarly, if somebody is a pure bhakta, the best of the yogis, and if we come in their contact, then that bhakti is contagious and we also become like them. And this beautiful thing mentioned in the purport here. By the transcendental association of Rantidev, all his subjects became pure devotees. Another important thing in the purport itself is Vaishnava is meritorious in proportion to the number of devotees he has created for the Lord. A Vaishnava becomes superior not simply by jugglery of words, but by the number of devotees he has created for the Lord. It's very, very important point here that is being mentioned, that one may become a great speaker, one may have good skills, good vocabulary, good command, they can get attention of people. One may have knowledge, but if one truly wants to inspire others to become Krishna conscious, it comes from the heart. When one wants to truly transform others, then this jugglery of words, then these things do not come into picture. The goal must be not to impress, but to inspire people to take up Krishna bhakti. And if that is the goal, then definitely we can see the transformations. To the amount of degree of your purity, you can make others pure devotees. And that's very nicely mentioned here. We have seen lots of examples in history about this. We have an example of Narad Muni. Narad Muni was serving the devotees for the 4 months, Chaturmas he was serving. And he had lots of good qualities himself, but by that service, by accepting the remnants of those Mahanubhavas, Mahabhagavatas, he became Narad Muni. And we see how Narad Muni is so much mentioned in so many pages of Bhagavatam. How Narad Muni transformed the lives of so many devotees. We have the example of Prahlad Maharaj. We have the example of Dhruv Maharaj. We have the example of Vyasdev, the one who gave us Bhagavatam. Even his guru is Narad Muni. Then we have example of Mrigari the hunter. We have example of Valmiki. Just one pure devotee, Narad Muni, has made so many pure devotees. And another example, which we should always mention when it comes to pure devotees, is our dear Srila Prabhupada, by whose causeless mercy we are all sitting here, who is still present here in form of his words, who is still present in form of his instructions. And for those who have the eyes to see, he is still present here. He's not dead and gone. He's still very well present amongst us. And if we see according to date, 14th November 1977, that is 14th November is today, that is the day where Prabhupada left this world. So according to date, if we want to know the disappearance day of Prabhupada, it's today. And it's the pure devotee Prabhupada who actually transformed so many lives. And he's still transforming so many lives and creating pure devotees all over the world. So the pure devotees, they create a ripple effect. Not just them, they don't like to just keep it to themselves, but with that effect, they create more and more and more and more pure devotees. So that's a ripple effect. We can see in lives of Prabhupada, he was actually dealing with hippies. Now hippies, as as their nature is, they are most unclean, they don't follow any rules, regulations, and the so-called popularity in that generation of the hippies was, they don't want to follow anyone, they want to do what pleases to them. But because of association with Prabhupada, all the hippies became happy, their lives completely transformed. And because of Prabhupada, anywhere you go in the world, you find a home. Normally when we go somewhere, it's like we're not comfortable. They have something, we don't know what they do, rules, regulations. But any ISKCON temple will go around the world. They have the same schedule. You get up, you do Mangala Aarti, there is time Nrsimhadev prayer, Tulsi Aarti, Japa, there is Guru Puja, there is Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, there is Prasadam. Anywhere you go, like-minded devotees, and you immediately feel at home. And that is the effect of pure devotee. That is what pure devotees do. And now, this is what we have to learn from this verse. How to become the best of the yogis, how to become that pure devotees. That is what is explained now in the rest of the purport. Now, let's take an example. Let's say there is a sponge, right? There is a sponge. Let's say you dip it in a color. Let's say green color. What color it will become, the sponge? Green, right? Is it possible that sponge will remain color-free? Is it possible that it will still be that yellow color the sponge is? No, right? The sponge will absorb that color. Similarly, we are like that sponge. If we are in association of Maya, we will absorb Maya and that association. But if we are in association of pure devotees, we will absorb what they have. This is what the importance of Vaishnava association or devotee association is, right? We are known, man is known by the company that he keeps, right? So the kind of association we keep determines how we're gonna be, how we're gonna progress, how we're gonna proceed in Krishna consciousness. Being in Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir, we are very, very, very fortunate, right? We have so many senior devotees here. We have so many exalted personalities. We have traveling preachers who come and go. Almost practically, there is not any time of the year where we don't find any senior devotees visiting, right? So lot of like big congregation, big association, and even traveling preachers who are exalted, they come and they visit, right? Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita is also glorifying the devotee association. There is so much mention in Bhagavad Gita also, right? So, bhakti, if we actually see, begins with devotee association. We have 9 steps of devotional service, right? The second one is sadhu sangha. First you have some faith, then you associate with devotees, and then it slowly progresses. And also, bhakti is nourished being in association with devotees. So much so that this devotee association is one of the key things that will actually decide and determine our fate in Krishna consciousness. So let us discuss some important benefits, let's say, or advantages of devotee association. First, we'll know what are the advantages of devotee association. Then we will discuss about what actually devotee association means and how to actually associate with devotees. So firstly, the practice of devotional service becomes very, very easy in association of devotees. Have you all experienced that? We have some experience of that, right? Let's say you are just by yourself, alone. The chanting, sometimes we might just fall asleep like that. Or sometimes we might take phone and we are chanting simultaneously, or some other distraction. But let's say we are here in association of devotees, right? Somebody will be there to point us out. Prabhu, you're sleeping, wake up. Mataji, don't chant with your phone on, right? And sometimes you don't even need somebody to tell you. You're yourself conscious. Yes, I'm in association of devotees. I should be, inspired by their presence. I should chant properly. I should do this properly. I should do that properly. Then hearing from devotees, right? Then there is Sankirtan, book distribution. All these activities become very, very, very easy in presence of devotees. There is a very beautiful song written by Bhaktivedanta Thakur. There are multiple references. This bhajan is called Ohe Vaishnav Thakur. The entire bhajan is meaningful. We're going to discuss few stanzas, few parts of that Vaishnava bhajan. It is said, Ekaki amara nahi paya bala hari naam sankirtane tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya deho Krishna namadhane. Meaning, I do not find the strength to carry on alone the sankirtan of the holy name of Hari. Please bless me by giving me just one drop of faith by which to obtain the great strength, great treasure of the holy name of Krishna. See, it's saying here, Ekaki amara nahi paya bala. Just by myself, I have no strength. So this is just talking of Harinam. But similarly, we get strength in association of devotees. And that brings to the next point. In association of devotees, it serves as a tonic. What does a tonic, a medicine, do? Generally, there are a lot of things a medicine does. But medicine usually gives us strength, like some supplement, like vitamin supplement or something. Let's take that for an example. That gives us strength, all right? And the other thing it does is it gives us immunity, right? Similarly, the association of devotees gives us strength to carry on our spiritual practices, and it gives us immunity from Maya. There is a very nice verse in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam which mentions this. It's a very famous verse, 3.25.25. Satam prasangam mama virya samvido bhavanti ridkarna rasayana katha tajjoshanadashvapavarga vartamani shraddha ratir bhakti anukramishyati. See, here it is mentioned rasayana. It's a tonic, right? What does this do? In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes attached on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begins. So this is what happens when we associate with devotees. That we develop that interest. We want to do more of the devotional service. And it's so pleasing, not just to ears, not just, it pleasing to the heart as well. And that's what we discussed initially. That it's not just the words, the jugglery of words. The actual transformation of hearts takes place like that. So this is what it is saying. The actual transformation of heart takes place in association of pure devotees. Then there is another important thing that happens when we are in association of devotees. When there is again another Vaishnava bhajan. It is by Narottam Das Thakur, and it is Ebara Karuna Karo Vaishnava Gosai. In that it is said, Jahara nikate gele papa dure jai, emona dayal prabhu keba kotha pai. Gangara prasara hoile pashchate pavan, darshane pavitra karo ei tumar gun. What does this mean? Devotees have the potency, pure devotees have the power to purify us from sinful activities. I'll read the exact translation. Where does anyone find such a merciful personality by whose mere audience all sins go away? After bathing in the water of sacred Ganges, many, many times one becomes purified. But just by the sight of you, all the fallen souls are purified. That is your great power. Right? normally the sinful tendencies that one has is something that is the impressions one is carrying from many, many, many past lives, right? Somebody who is really strong, really wants to give up some bad habits, but they can't. It's like a force, it's like a power. They can't give it up on their own. People, just to give up smoking, for example, just smoking, people try so many things, hypnotherapy and this and that, so many things. But if we actually come in contact with devotees, all these sinful tendencies go away. That's what is said in this bhajan. Ganga water is, yes, purifying, but you dip again and again and again and again. But just by darshan of pure devotees. That's what happened with all these hippies. They were taking into drugs, LSD. They were not clean in their habits, right? They were freely associating with the opposite sex. But just by association with pure devotee, all the love that Prabhupada gave, all the knowledge came later, but it was just being with Prabhupada, the love and affection that Prabhupada gave, that actually transformed their heart. So this is what effect of a pure devotee is. This is what all the sinful tendencies get washed away by being in presence of pure devotees. There is one example that I'm aware of, that devotee had a lot of bad habit of watching just mundane videos. That devotee was just, whatever, they were practicing, they were chanting, but with whatever time they had, they just used to watch any mundane videos, movies, this, that. But just being in constant presence of devotees, in presence of spiritual master and devotees, they got the higher taste. And they easily gave up this bad habit of watching all the mundane videos. Similarly, I know some other example. They gave up smoking, just being in presence of, devotees. So all these sinful tendencies go away in the presence of pure devotees. Another thing is, when we read the scriptures, sometimes it feels all this is too up high, right? Sometimes it feels like, is this really doable? Sometimes it feels like, this is a lot. Can I really do it? We question our abilities, we question our capacities to actually achieve love of Godhead in this life, is it not? But when we see senior devotees, when we see their example, bhakti becomes more relatable and more practical. When we see Maharaj, they come here practicing for 50 plus years. They have completely dedicated their life. Their association motivates us and gives us hope that in spite of all our shortcomings, in spite of all our doubts, if we follow this path, the process works. Is it not? We have an example, right? Prabhupada, again, is an example. At such an advanced age, he went and he preached, right? And we have an example of His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj. We all know that for past so many years, he is in wheelchair, right? And there is one lecture where he also mentions, what is your excuse? He is sitting in wheelchair, he is paralyzed to some degree, but he is still practicing so nicely. His body is practically, so much is happening, but he is still inspiring us. And just this shows, that this process of Krishna consciousness is above all these bodily concepts. He is showing by his example how to go beyond this concept of body, beyond this conditioning of the body, and still continue your devotional service with that full fire and full enthusiasm. This is what happens in devotee association. You automatically see and you can learn by visualizing their life. They're seeing how their sadhana is, and you can also be inspired to take that up, right? Then, devotee association, is it, it is said that Love matra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hoy. What does, it is said in Madhya Leela, it was Chaitanya Charitamrit, Madhya Leela 22.54. Sadhu sanga, sadhu sanga, sadhu sanga, sarva shastre koy. Love matra sadhu sanga, sarva siddhi hoy. No, when something is important, it is repeated multiple times. So here it is said, sadhu sanga, right? The meaning of this verse is, the verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. The word that is specifically used here is lava matra. Love means 1/11th of a second. Second itself is so small, right? Now we are calculating 1/11th of a second. So just that mere love matra, just that little presence of pure devotee can actually transform our life. We have seen example of Prabhupada, we have seen so much happens. There is one more nice pastime between Narad Muni and the brother of Amrish Maharaj. We all know Amrish Maharaj, right? Such a pure, exalted devotee, and he's so pure that even, great Durvasa Muni, when he challenged, he was defeated. Now, unfortunately for Amrish Maharaj, he had a brother who was not at all interested in spiritual life. Amrish Maharaj had tried a lot to transform him, to talk to him about Krishna consciousness, but he was just engrossed, being a king, he was engrossed in all sorts of sense gratification, not at all interested. So one time, Narad Muni came, and Narad Muni was speaking to Amrish Maharaj, and Amrish Maharaj said, please, if you can give your association to my brother, his life will actually transform. Sure enough, Narad Muni, he went to his brother. He just knocked the door and said, Hare Krishna, Narayana, Narayana. And he's like, who's it? I'm here. Narad Muni said, I'm here so that you take up chanting of Hare Krishna. Get out. I don't even want to hear anything or do anything with you. Just get out. Narad Muni was still very kind, still very merciful. He said, okay, don't chant Hare Krishna, don't chant Narayana, Narayana. Just do one thing. When you meet Yamraj, just ask him, what is the benefit of love matra sadhu sangha? Yeah. He just, he dismissed. Amrish Maharaj's younger brother just dismissed. Yeah, just go. And then when Amrish Maharaj's brother, when he went to Yamdutas took him, and Yamraj, he met there, Yamraj. And the Chitrakut is the one who keeps all the record of what you have done, all the sinful activities. And they were like, so much sinful activities this person has done. And then Amrish Maharaj's younger brother, he remembered. He said, can you tell me what is the benefit of love matra sadhu sangha? And Yamraj said, well, I always deal with sinners and sinful people. I actually don't know what's the effect of being in presence of, love matra sadhu sangha. I don't know anything about sadhu. Let's take you to Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma, he goes and he says, love matra sadhu sangha. Well, I'm too busy with my creation and everything, and all the sadhus, they are not a part of my creation. They are above my creation and all this. Maybe you can ask Lord Shiva. Then they go to Lord Shiva. And then Lord Shiva says, yes, I am a devotee, but I mainly deal with all these ghosts, hobgoblins, all that. Why don't you go to Lord Vishnu? He will tell you what is the benefit of love matra sadhu sangha. And then Amrish Maharaj's brother went to Lord Vishnu. Where does Lord Vishnu stay? Vaikuntha, right? And Lord Vishnu, when he heard what is the benefit of love matra sadhu sangha, he just laughed. He said, just see around. Where are you standing? He said, I am in Vaikuntha. This is the benefit of love matra sadhu sangha. You have done all sinful things, but just because you associated with Narad Muni for 1/11th of a second, now you are here. You will not go. You know that verse in Bhagavad Gita, Tadhama Paramam, you will not go back. So that is the benefit of love matra sadhu sangha. Right? Now, another question one may ask. In the association of devotees, it's the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Does that mean after a certain time we can practice on our own? Does that mean that yes, now it's time, we can just, we have become good and strong standing in our sadhana, in our practice? Does that mean we don't need devotee association anymore? No. Actually, devotee association is important at all levels. One may be a Kanishta Bhakta, one may be a Madhyam Bhakta, one may be Uttam Adhikari. All the levels need association. This is exemplified by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, right? He is Bhagavan, he has come in the form of devotee, but he is Lord in the mood of Radharani, in the mood of a devotee. But he himself was associating with exalted personalities like Ramanand Rai, then there is Swarup Damodar. There is a place in Jagannath Puri called Gambhira, very, very small room. But there, they used to discuss all the intimate pastimes of Lord Krishna. There is Sikhi Mahiti. There are few devotees with which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to discuss. And we have also seen the example of Bharat Maharaj, who was all the way, just one step from love of Godhead. He was on the level of Bhava Bhakti. And because he was by himself, not in presence of devotees, lacking devotee association, he became attached to deer. So this signifies the importance of devotee association at all levels. Not just, beginning and then we can just, it's a ladder, and then now we are in the next step, no more devotee association. No. Devotee association remains the most important thing in one's spiritual life. Now that we have discussed the importance, let us understand what does devotee association actually mean. Right? We can all be in presence of devotees, we can all do so many things, but what actually it means? If we have to summarize in a nutshell, devotee association means associating with Krishna. Let's say we are in presence of the deities here, right? Do we talk about cricket match? Do we talk about job? Do we talk about this, that, the Gramya Katha? Do we do that? No. When we are in presence of Lord, we are in presence of Lord. We have awe, reverence, we have respect, and we respectfully talk and pray about spiritual life. Similarly, when we are with devotees, that is the true devotee association. Actually, we can divide this in three parts. There are actually three types of devotees: Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, and Uttam Adhikari. If we read in detail in Nectar of Instruction, there are three levels given. Kanishta is just a beginner. They have just started the process. They have full faith they have some faith in Lord, but their faith is sort of shaky. Then Madhyam Adhikari means they're more faithful, they're more strong. Their faith is not that deviating. And they know how to associate with equals, they know how to associate with subordinates, they know that who are envious, just avoid, and they know about how to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Uttam Adhikari, the best of all, the pure devotees that we are discussing here, they are the best of the devotees, never see fault in others, never criticizing, just purely, they are Krishna conscious, they give Krishna conscious. So let's start with the Uttam Adhikari, the pure devotees. How should we associate with pure devotees? The very first thing we have to understand is, when we associate with them, we have to always inquire. We have to inquire how we can progress in spiritual life. It's not a very good question when devotees, senior devotees are asked, how are you? Right? They are already past the bodily concept of life, right? And you are asking, how are you? The question that we have to ask is, how I can progress in spiritual life? So that is the first thing, how to advance in spiritual life. Reveal heart in confidence. This is one of the 6 loving exchanges given in Nectar of Instruction about how one should associate with devotees, and one of them is revealing heart. Reveal your heart in confidence. These are the difficulties I'm facing. This is my problem. And they'll be able to help, right? Then we have serving them, right? We have this verse which says, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, right? When we serve those devotees and when we take instructions from them, one can attain devotional service. All that is troublesome to the heart. And the service doesn't have to be great. Sometimes there are some advanced devotees, they may be cooking, some may be doing this, some may be doing that. But even if there is little opportunity, you open the door for them, right? Or you give them some water, right? Anything. It doesn't have to be big. But that mood of service brings humility in us, and humility attracts Krishna consciousness. So that service is also very important. We also know tad viddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya, right? So first serve, then inquire, and that will make our life more, that will make our path of bhakti more like, more firm, more strong, right? Hearing is also associating, right? When we hear, we may not be able to do big things, big service, but when we hear and when we take instructions from them, that is also another form of association, and that will actually transform our heart. And that's what is happening with our relation with Prabhupada, is it not? That we are associating through his books, through his lectures, through his devotees, and that is what is actually transforming our heart and others who are motivated to come to Krishna consciousness, right? Then we can give them some charity, because they are traveling, they are doing a lot of Krishna conscious. We can give them some charity. And very, very important, not to be envious of them. Why so much respect to them? Why they are having that big Vyas Puja? No, don't be envious of them. And another thing, do not copy them. Sometimes some devotees artificially, rather than following the instructions, they copy. It's advisable not to copy pure devotees. Now, how to associate with equals? Just because Bhagavatam says Nityam Bhagavata Seva, associate those devotees who have actually living Bhagavatas, does that mean we don't associate with equals? Actually, associating with equals is very, very important. Associating with equals actually checks our pride, right? Because now we know these senior devotees may sometimes be present and sometimes they don't have opportunity to look at each and every small things in our life. But when we are with equals, then we actually can see our faults, and that makes us humble. That is a check of our pride. And it also sort of creates a healthy competition. When you see someone doing very nicely, you are also motivated to do nicely. Oh, they are coming for Mangala Aarti, I also want to come for Mangala Aarti, right? So it's kind of a healthy thing when you associate with equals, that it boosts our bhakti. It brings us more closer to Krishna, right? And then associating with juniors, with kindness, with compassion, with the aim of bringing them up higher, more and more closer to Krishna. Not with the aim of, trying to get some things done out of them, exploiting them, bullying them. No. We want to actually help them progress in Krishna consciousness, so we have to be very, very kind. I myself have one example here. A few years back, I was in my Gurudev's ashram in Austin, and we live here, so we know that, there is recycle bin, there is general waste bin, and there is green waste bin, right? So I was somehow standing near the bins, and I was just thinking I will clean up the bins in the ashram. Gurudev saw me, he came there, and he just looked at me, and he very kindly explained me the whole process, that this waste goes here, come let me show you. He took me out to the bins, this is the bin, this is that. He showed me everything. I mean, just imagine that, right? I mean, he is Guru, he does not need to show me anything, right? But he took his time, he took his effort, and he showed me very kindly that, you take this here, this is every small detail. He explained it to me, that this is the day the bins come, this is how you put them outside, and this is how you sort the green waste. Every single thing he showed me. I was just amazed at, how even to a small thing as cleaning the bin, emptying the bin, he took time and effort and trained even for that small thing. So this is how we should also treat our subordinates. When they come, lot of love, lot of kindness, and that character that we have will motivate them to go advance further in Krishna consciousness, right? Another important thing, in devotee association, we have to be always grateful and always careful so that we avoid any offenses. We should not become casual. Casual means casualty, right? In conclusion, again, this is wonderful, this bhajan. We must always, Vaishnava bhajans are actually like all the realizations that acharyas have put in that Vaishnava songs. So they touch us, they really will motivate us a lot. So again, quoting from Bhaktivinod Thakur, Ohe Vaishnav Thakur, Krishna se tomara, Krishna dite paro, tomara shakti ache, ami to kangala, Krishna Krishna boli, dhai tava pache pache. Krishna is yours. You have the power to give him to me. I am simply your servant, running behind you, shouting Krishna, Krishna. So if we truly want Krishna, if we truly want Krishna Prema, then we have to run behind Vaishnavas and pray and beg for their mercy, for their blessings. And that is how we can become pure devotees. So, any questions, any comments?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you for the nice class. Mataji, you were talking about association and how it is so important. So my question is, sometimes in devotee association, we get so worn out and exhausted, again and again, always smiling, that we just want our personal time with Krishna, just being alone and just connecting with Krishna. So is that okay, or should we always force ourselves to be in a happy way with devotees, or being grateful for the association?
If you have to force yourself to be in association of devotees, there is something wrong there. Devotee association naturally comes, right? It's something that is so loving, so motivating, so uplifting that you naturally want to be in association of devotees. If there is no discussion of Krishna Katha, if there is gossip, or if there is something else going on in name of devotee association, then it feels strained. Then it feels like it's a relation you have to maintain. But if you all are getting naturally, you are getting together to discuss Krishna Katha, you're talking about Krishna, you're talking about your experiences, then it's not strained. So this is one thing. The second part of your question, should you have alone time? You definitely need your time for your japa. You need your time for your reading. And then when you read, then you can discuss with devotees, is it not? Otherwise, how is it like, what are you going to discuss when you have not even read? So, yes, you do need your time alone with Krishna. That is for introspection. Bhurijan Prabhu conducts that whole retreat. It says alone with Krishna. So you do need your alone time to reflect what you are doing, to make your sadhana strong, to read more, to hear. But then that should not just make us channel or focus doing more things on my own. If we just keep doing on our own, just being alone, there is a chance that mind will go away and will not even know. That's what happened with Bharat Maharaj. That before even he knew, it's gone. That time is gone, that attachment he's developed for dear. So yes, we need a balance of both. We need our time for our introspection, our own sadhana, our own chanting, bhakti reading. But at the same time, we should also associate with devotees. They can tell us what our faults are. If what we are doing in our alone time is right or wrong, we may just be reading and we may take some interpretations out of it. But whether it's right or wrong, we'll know by devotee association. Right?
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Granthraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Devotee association ki jai.